This is the harness that I have to wear for my safety, because I do go up pretty high. But the very most important element to this whole process is keeping things very, very organized.
Hi everyone, I'm Don Stewart, the artist at ArtistChronicle.com.
Today I'm at the studio of Susan Harrell, who is a photorealistic oil painter and also a muralist in Asheboro, North Carolina. She's going to explain the process she uses to achieve that photorealism, and she's going to show us a train mural she's currently working on in downtown Asheboro. She's painted 3 there so far, and volunteering to paint the first mural in 2009 literally started her career. Tell me a little bit about your process with your smaller paintings.
I'll have an idea, and then I will set up my own little photo shoot. This one started out on my desk at home, and these were my grandmother teacups. My initial idea was to paint the teacups with the bluebirds, and then I find just random photos of birds, but it takes me a long time because you have to find the right image to fit with your image. Then using Photoshop, I just merge the images together, and then I manipulate them to get the color right. Sometimes I move their bodies a little bit, warp their bodies, to make everything pleasing to the eye. I'll grid this off, and then I will pencil in where everything goes. This is very, very loose with the pencil, and it looks pretty bad. It's not until I actually pick up the paintbrush that it kind of starts to take shape. And I paint very, very thin, so I have to do several paintings at once. I'll put them on rotation, so while this painting is drying, I will work on the strawberries. And I normally do 3 or 4 paintings at once. And these are the paintings that I'm working on currently.
Do you use a medium when you're doing this?
Yeah, I do. Not very much. I use a painting medium. All this does is kind of condition the paint. When the paint comes out of the tube, it's rather paste-like, maybe a little bit thicker than toothpaste. And that is pretty impossible to spread on the canvas. So I will mix in this painting medium just right into the paint. And that helps it just, helps with the flow. Now with the train, I grid it out the exact same way, and I do the exact same process, just on a much larger scale. I had to find a train that had lots of color in it. And I searched and searched and searched, and I finally ran across a photographer, and he actually agreed to let me use any photograph that I wanted. This was the Tootsie Railroad train, which is good because it's still keeping it native to North Carolina, but it also has the colors that work really well with the mural that's right across the street, the polar bears. My past experience with painting murals has been quite a challenge because painting on brick is pretty difficult to do. We put a skim coat on top of the bricks, and that gave me a much, much better surface to paint on. And then they used a black primer in the end, and that was my empty canvas. The first day I just mapped out a grid.
What do you draw that on there with?
With a silver Sharpie. And then, this is the first real day of painting. I just real vaguely kind of start mapping out where the image is going to go. And then this is to present day here.
That's what it looks like today?
That's what it looks like today. Yesterday I painted the flag.
Okay. Well, let's go out there on the site and check it out.
This is my reference. This is kind of what I'm working from. This is what I started out with, which has the grid on there. And you can see the grid on the wall there. You can tell what I've kind of started to map in. And this first layer of paint, I don't put a lot of detail into.
What kind of paint are you using?
This is just a high quality exterior paint. Asheboro Paint Center, right across the way here, donated all the paint for this project. And I have 3 more murals, one just directly across the street here, the polar bears. There's one in the coffee shop, the Coffee Exchange, and then there's one at the very end, which was my first, and it was a restoration job. It was painted 33 years ago, and about 2 years ago I restored it, and it took me 6 months to do. It was great for me because I had never painted a exterior mural. And I hadn't even really been painting very long. I had only just painted my first original. So it was kind of like painting boot camp for me. And it was a test to see if I really wanted to do it or not, because I painted in very hot weather all the way to about 35 degrees. So
wow.
It was a big challenge.
Were you paid for that project?
No, it turned out to be volunteer. The city wanted to put together a group of people to do the project. And I ended up being the only one here in town that could commit to it. But they had priced it, and it would have been very, very expensive to get an artist to paint. So I just thought it was a wonderful opportunity, and I took on the project even though they didn't have funding. But that project honestly was the best decision I've ever made, because it has literally started my career.
That's motivational for other people,
Yeah.
other artists,
Yeah.
to hear something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important also. I'm not like this huge volunteer person, but I think it's important for people to get exposed to a little bit of that, kind of take you out of self a little bit. You just never know. You never know the people you'll meet, or you have some really good life-changing experiences from stepping out of your comfort zone, which definitely is what I did.
Whose motorcycle is this?
This is Doyle Hinkle's.
This is Doyle Hinkle's motorcycle, not mine.